All right there. Hello to my lovely students. This morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Here we go, of week 2 with our in-home voice lessons. We'll probably be here together today for about 15 to 20 minutes, but we're going to continue talking about our breath. So I want you to think about the different things you learned about last week. I know I had you guys record your voices, and I want you to always, when you listen to your voice, give yourself a compliment. What's one thing that you can say to yourself that you like about your voice and listening to it? And then if there's something that you don't like about it, then that can be the next thing that you focus on and work towards. But we want to always be grateful for this instrument that we've been given, because each of ours is needed and beautiful in its own way. So right now we're going to go ahead. We talked about the breath and how lots of times in life can get us stressed out and we can get the breath all kind of tied up in our chest. So we're going to take a little bit of time today doing some yoga breathing, so yoga for singing, to help us get that breath nice and low and connected. So I'm sitting here on the ground in my front room on a pillow with my legs crossed. You guys can sit on a couch, or you can sit down like I am on the ground on a pillow, or just on the ground and cross your legs, hands on your knees, or just cradled in your lap. And we're going to go ahead. I want you to put your hand here on your chest, and then I want you to reach it up to the sun, okay? Then I want you to bring your right shoulder back, and then your left shoulder back, and then I want you to think of lengthening through the back of your spine all the way down to your tailbone, okay? You can go ahead and close your eyes or leave them open. I'm going to go ahead and close mine, but what I want you to do is close your mouth. You're going to breathe through your nose. And I want you to imagine a straw that's going from the top of the inside of your nose all the way down to your belly button. So we want that breath to be able to drop really low all the way down to the belly. So go ahead and inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Visualize that straw. What color is it? The straw is from the top of your nose all the way down to your abdomen. Relax the muscles in your face as you inhale, and in your neck as you exhale. Feel a smile on your face. Keep the chest high, the back of the neck lengthened, the shoulders relaxed. 2 more breaths here. And let out all the air. Okay, now we're going to do an exercise that helps us really recognize what's going on with that breath and where it wants to go naturally. So go ahead and recover that breath. Just relax. We're going to go ahead and exhale out all the air, but we want our hands here on our tummy. You can put one here on your ribs and one in the front of your tummy, and we're going to go ahead and let all the air out. Expel it all. And then when you let all the air in, I want you to see what happens down there. Where do you feel the movement? Where do you feel the air moving to? When you're going to let every last inch of air out, and then feel where that air wants to arrive as it comes in. So let's do it again. Yours might take longer or shorter than mine. It doesn't matter, but just go ahead and exhale all that air out. Whoa, see how much it fills up? It's like a big, huge balloon. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, another thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the main muscle for when we breathe, or the main part of thing in our body that we use when we breathe. Thing is a good word, right? It's called our diaphragm. So we're going to go ahead and go ahead and feel your sternum right here in your chest. It's like a bone right there. And then we're going to go ahead and come down to our ribs. And we're going to fill down till we get to the bottom rib. So we have like a bottom rib here on the sides. And I'm going to come up a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. So you can kind of see. So here we go. Sorry. I have my ribs here. I'm going to want you to push your fingers underneath those ribs as best you can. And then I'm going to come back down on my legs, on my knees. And then I want you to inhale and notice how your fingers get pushed out from that diaphragm, descending. And then let the air out. And then push those fingers up further into the ribs. And then let it in. See how that diaphragm is working on that breath. It's awesome. So those are just a few things to get us started today. I want to just show you this picture of the diaphragm. So here we have a picture of our ribs. And the solid line that you see down below the ribs is the diaphragm at rest. And then the dotted line is the ribs as they are help with the breath. That's how they move to expand. And then the bottom dotted line is how the diaphragm expands. And if you see the words there, they're backwards because of how the video is working, but just go ahead and pay attention. That's where your diaphragm is. And as you breathe, those ribs expand along with the diaphragm, and then the diaphragm descends as you inhale too. So it's a big part of what we use when we sing. All right, I'm going to bring Savannah in with us today to go over a few different exercises with us. So Savvy, come on in. Can you say hi to everyone?
Hello.
Okay, Savannah's going to start with us today doing the Superman breath. So she's going to, will you kind of give us an example of what that looks like? And then she's going to sing along with the Superman breath. So a nice full breath on the inhale. So she's going to step forward, bringing her arms up, and then she's going to sing out on, and we'll go ahead and we're going to come an octave lower for you boys out there. So, for you men, here we go. So here we go. As you try that Superman breath, you're stepping forward, pulling your arms up, trying to really reach for that breath. Where are you feeling it?
In my tummy?
Can you?
Maybe.
Well, pay attention, see if you can. Why don't you just stand there, hands on their tummy, just a few. There we go. Chest. So we got to work even harder to get it down low, huh? So as you bring your arms up, just really think of reaching for that breath and letting it come down low. So go ahead, let's do a little bit more on the Superman breath. Okay, here we go. Posture, because in order for our diaphragm to descend and for everything to work the best way that it can for our singing, we want to have really good posture. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an exercise right now to kind of gauge if you're doing a good job and having good posture. So I want you to bring your arms all the way up to meet at the top for your head, so your hands meet together, and then you can bring them down Shoulders come to your side. Do you notice how your chest is high right there?
Mhm.
Yeah. Now we don't want to be like a stiff statue, right? So you can kind of wiggle through your hips a little bit, wiggle through your shoulders a little bit. Yeah, nice like that. Okay, another thing that I want you to think about is like you're a puppet on a string. So you got a string hanging from the top back of your head, and then you got a string hanging from your shoulders, and it's just kind of hanging like that, and everything's just nice and comfortable like that. Does that feel good?
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay. There's Savvy for you today. Thanks for joining us, girl. Oh, she's
Bye.
going to do a dance on out. So we're going to go ahead and get that voice warmed up for another good 10 minutes with you guys today. So we have the voice working really good, and then you guys can go to your songs and work on your songs and use the things that you learn with the breathing, the relaxing the muscles. I do kind of want to give you a little bit of a kind of like my idea on what we want to call our breath. There's different kinds of breathing. So last week I kind of showed you all the different breathing from the tummy and the ribs. And I can't remember if I showed you in the back. So I'm going to show you a little bit here in the back. So I'm going to bring my shirt flat like that. And if we really engage those muscles, the exterior costal muscles in the ribs, they'll expand the ribs really good and help even fill that breath up even more. So here we go. Want you to try it. Bring your hands on the back of your ribs and let all the air in, expanding those ribs as much as you can. One more breath and let it out. Okay, so there's so many different kind of breathings, so many different ways to breathe, but I want us to think about it. Something that I've been thinking about lately is just breathing from our soul. So it's like we're using our spirit and our body to breathe, and we're just really bringing it down low and really connecting with it. Okay, so that's just something to think about. Go ahead. We're going to start with, we did our lip trills already, so we're going to stay down the octave lower for us, for you boys, but I'll sing octave higher, okay? So we're going to go. Zuzi zay zazo. Okay? Zuzi zay zazo. I love slides with any kind of warming up because it works through our bridge from our chest voice to our head voice, and well, through the break in our voice, so it bridges through that. So we're gonna sing, and then we want to exercise the tongue so it's nice and free, so we're gonna do the front of the tongue with the L. Lemon lime, and on the lime I want the vowel there to be ah. Lemon lime, lemon lime. Nice slide. Slide through each of those notes. Lemon lime, lemon lime, lemon lime. so as we learn a new exercise, we're thinking, okay, how does it go? La, 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 la. We're thinking of the vowels. We're thinking of a lot of different things, getting it right. But have you been thinking about breathing? You gotta keep thinking about that. You gotta keep reaching for that and connecting with that. Every time, I know it's just a simple, zoozy zazo. Zoozy zazo is just kind of a simple, nice warm up, but we still have to connect with that breath and continue to work for that breath. Go ahead and on your next exercise, let's bring our hands up on our ribs. Feel it in the back and feel it in the front of the ribs. I want you to feel a nice connection as you inhale, the movement that can happen there, okay? So, and we're gonna do, it's a pretty simple exercise. So it's gonna be beep, beep, oh. So, getting the hands there on the ribs, connecting nice and together with the breath. Here we go. Beep, beep, oh. Beep, beep, oh. Really listen to that pitch. Beep, beep, oh. This is a nice energizing exercise, getting the voice energized. Beep, beep, oh. Beep. Oh, that was a little flat for me. Beep, beep, oh. Keep going. So really connect with that breath. Think of really digging into it to kind of, and don't cheat the space there on that top note. Beep, beep, oh. You gotta have the space there to let that come out. We talked about that a little bit with those higher notes, how the space has to be there because the pressure is higher. So, beep, beep, oh. Beep, beep, oh. Keep working on it. Keep thinking of the posture, right? The chest is high, the shoulders are free and relax. And as you breathe, make sure you can recognize that the muscles in the neck are nice and free. Beep. Ooh, that was fly again. Beep, beep, oh. Drop down there. Bum. Where was I? Bum. You don't want to have to have anything happen here. Just let it drop. Let the air and sing on the air. On that low note for you. If you can't hit the low note, then that's okay. But what I would say is don't stretch for it here. Work for it here, right? Down low. So, okay, last exercise for us today. We're going to do a nice stretching our register exercise. So, on that E and ah, I want you to make sure you can feel the tongue nice and relaxed and it's touching the back of the bottom teeth. So that is to reassure or to ensure that the tongue is nice and relaxed and it's not getting involved in the singing. Because the tongue on this, on Li, on an L, the tongue would get involved. In a K, the tongue would get involved, right? Because those are consonants that we use our tongue with. But otherwise, the tongue is nice and free and relaxed. So, E, ah. Don't forget the breath. There we go. E, ah. Even though we're singing low and easy, we still have to connect with that breath. staying connected and working on that posture, keeping the chest high and the shoulders back and relaxed, like that. And again, the muscles in the neck free. Go ahead and stretch through those muscles. You can always do that anytime before you start warming up. So, I want to just give you guys a few ideas of things you can be experimenting with this week as you're thinking about breathing. So one thing I talked about with one of my students this past week was that you can put a belt around your ribs, and you don't want it tight because we don't want to cause any kind of tension, but the belt tight enough that it's not going to fall, and then feel your ribs push into that belt as you breathe for singing. And see that, try that out and have some fun with that. Another one is just to lay flat on your back and just pay attention to your breath. Don't think about breathing, but just see what you see moving. One of the things that I have heard said is that breathing for singing is just like breathing for speaking and for life, which isn't necessarily the case, because when we talk, we don't have these long phrases that go high and low, right? So I do like it though. I like the idea of it because we still breathe with our diaphragm. The breath still moves low, but it's more energized. We use the muscles on our ribs, and we use the muscles on our back, and we use the muscles in the front of our abdomen to assist with that breath. So that's not necessarily the same as just like everyday breathing. And so there's just a lot to be experimenting. There's a lot to learn, even for me, who's now 42 years old, still learning a lot about breathing. So another thing that I want you to think about is that Superman breath. Use that. Try it out every day this week, and just breathe in and feel the breath, and then sing out on a scale. And then as you're laying down, you can put a book on your belly and just kind of watch and see how it moves. So there's just a few ideas for you, and have an awesome, beautiful, wonderful week full of music.